What's going on, fighters? This is another TNF podcast episode with your boys K9C. I'm Shimaro the Dragon Fox.
And I'm Wolfpack reporting for duty. And this one's going to be a little bit shorter than usual. Don't have as much to cover. So for those of you who are, kind of tired of our longer episodes, at least here, you guys can take a bit of a breath, So
a respite, as it were, before Evo comes in and just floods us with information.
Exactly. So this is just the calm before the storm. Before we get started, Shimaro, I believe you've got something important to address to the audience.
Yes, so as you guys may have noticed, Pharaoh is not currently with us. The reason for that is he's not left the show. He has just decided to take a different role in our production for the podcast. He is going to be mostly doing script writing and recording and editing and all that. And he will be on for other, like, if me or Wolf are indisposed, as you may say, for a week, he'll come in and sub for us. So he's still here. He's just in his little void doing background stuff.
Yeah. So and don't worry, in connection with last episode, we did check up on him. He's okay. So no need to worry there. Pharaoh is all good.
It was just a little Discord issue at that point. But yeah, you guys will see him soon because I guess I didn't tell you about this either, Wolf. But I'm actually going on vacation next weekend. So
okay.
Yeah, so Pharaoh will fill in for me next weekend, so you guys will see him then. So don't worry, he's okay. The Lord of the Underworld is still with us. He's just doing his puppet string thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. So, Wolf. First off, I guess we should talk about the biggest thing that happened this week. Bandai Namco's somewhat lackluster Anime Expo panel.
Yes, they had their summer showcase this past weekend at Anime Expo, and overall, from what I've heard, the event in general, Anime Expo, was an absolute hit, but obviously, the summer showcase panel from Bandai it left a lot to be desired. First and foremost, we did not get any new information for Tekken 8.
Not a drop, not a squeak about Lydia's possible release date, which I am just, ugh.
Yeah, and
I'm just so pissed off about that, and even more so about what they did for Sparking Zero.
Yeah, there was not really that much going on for Sparking Zero. I'm sure that we are not the only ones that felt let down by this summer showcase because, from what we heard leading into this, there was supposed to be a pretty major focus on Sparking Zero. So we were expecting, maybe a trailer about, a new game mode being implemented, maybe some new characters getting revealed.
But no, all we got was just a lot of filler about the Mr. Satan character.
Yeah.
Who has, for those of you who might not know, he is considered both in game and in Dragon Ball to be the joke character. And
there you go.
And we basically just got 10 whole minutes of the voice actor for Mr. Satan, the English voice actor, talking to the devs about how Satan plays in the game, and that was basically it. We got nothing else.
Which, I mean, to be fair, in its own right, that is, a bit of a positive update, because at least for those of us who are not as well acquainted with Dragon Ball as others, it gives us insight into how he's going to play and, stuff like that, but still, that's definitely not what a lot of us were expecting.
Yeah, no, we were expecting some more big character reveals, but I will say that the one good thing we got out of that about that little talk was that the producer did mention that basically characters in this game were not meant to be balanced; they were meant to be more accurate and faithful to their power levels in the series. So at least by the fact that even though it was just talking about Satan and they were talking about how less powerful he is compared to the other characters, at least we got that piece of information out of the devs. So at least we now know that you'll probably do better with the more powerful characters if you're facing a weaker character. But if you want a more of a challenge, you can always try for a weaker character and try to go at with that.
Absolutely, and you know what? With the fact that the characters aren't going to be balanced and stuff like that, that's gonna make for like if you're going to make tier lists about the power levels and stuff like that of them in game, like those are gonna be the easiest tier lists you're ever gonna be able to make.
Well, not sure about that,
Well,
Wolf, because remember
mostly.
they did say that Mr. Satan did have a trade off because
Yes,
while
that's right.
while he might not be as powerful, he does have more resources to start out with. While most characters who are stronger have to build up the resources throughout the match.
Correct. I almost forgot about that. Thank goodness you brought that up. Oh man. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. Like I said, it was sort of a positive update, but again, a lot of us were expecting much more.
Especially for about how much time they actually delegated to the game.
Right? But still, it doesn't mean that we didn't end up getting any sort of new announcements. As a matter of fact, Bandai Namco did announce a brand new fighting game, Bleach Rebirth of Souls, and it is going to be a 3D arena fighter that follows the original storyline for the show.
And that's about all we know because basically they had like 5 seconds of gameplay in the trailer, and the rest was just a bunch of flashing colors, which Wolf, I'm surprised you're actually able to see with your epilepsy.
Don't worry. I always have my Theraspecs with me, so
Good.
it was no big deal there. But yeah, it was a simple announced trailer. You had your character reveals, your initial character reveals, and like 10-15 seconds of gameplay, which somehow I managed to figure out just from that little bit of gameplay that it's basically going to be an arena fighter.
Yeah.
I'm praying that this game actually turns out to be, a really good one, because for those who have followed Bandai Namco's track record over the years, yeah, there are ones that end up being really, really well done, and then there are ones that just are almost like dead on arrival.
Yeah,
So,
and I guess that kind of leads into our other talk about Bandai today is Jujutsu Kaisen Cursed Clash, because we have so here's the thing, we were talking about this game as it was coming up to release, and then we just stopped talking about that as soon as it came out, and we have now looked back on that, and oh my gosh, I'm actually very disappointed in Bandai for letting this game actually get released as is, because this game is absolute crap.
yeah, and like the stats don't lie either. Like just looking at the Steam version, there's just over 2,000 reviews altogether on this game, and it's mixed. So it's not looking too good, but then on top of that, if you take a look at some of the ratings that were given by various websites and publishers, like Metacritic gave the PlayStation version a 44 out of 100 and gave the Xbox version a 50 out of 100.
And it basically just goes all downhill from there. Like basically the highest score we've seen from anyone has been 50%.
Exactly, and like it gets so much worse. There was someone from Screen Rant that gave a review on Cursed Clash, and they gave it a 2.5 out of 5 on that, and it's just there is so much that went wrong with this game. There's a
I can list how many things went wrong on. Like, I can make a whole tier list about what went wrong. I can count how many good things have happened on one hand.
It's so weird too, because this is a Bandai title. This is a Bandai title, and usually you can find a whole chunk of good stuff to talk about. But nothing with this
especially
one.
since Bandai was making a game based off of a very popular anime. Like, I mean, Jujutsu has been sweeping anime. The whole anime psyche across the world for a couple of years now.
Yeah,
and yet this is what they do to the game, to its first game, is they just butcher it, and it's basically just a hodgepodge of like really unbalanced characters and the animation isn't even that great either. Plus, you got the cutscenes. The cutscenes themselves are basically just they're basically just like Microsoft level slideshows with little clips of the anime shoehorned in. It's so bad.
That's terrible. Let's not forget the fact that the character roster itself was small as hell.
Yeah, and the worst part about this is Bandai expects this game in its current state to make the money on a year one pass, which, by the way, already has 2 DLC characters and 3 more to come.
Exactly, and that's not the only thing either. They also did a deluxe and an ultimate edition for this game as well.
And
they did that as
merch.
well. And the ultimate edition,
they had freaking merch.
Yeah, I'll tell you this right now. For the game being as crappy as it is, it should not be going at the same price tag as a AAA game. Like just the base version, it goes at $79.99 before tax. That is the standard for a AAA game. Given the reception for this game, it should not have that kind of price tag.
Yeah, this seems more like a bad indie game, and I would expect this to be more priced at, like, if we're talking Canadian dollars, because we're in the north, I would say $20, maybe $25 at most.
Yeah, and like definitely double down on that when you're talking about the deluxe and the ultimate editions. The ultimate edition is literally like almost $135 Canadian.
Dear gods.
And that's basically just including the base game and all the DLC, which, by the way, if you were to get the DLC separately, and I'm just talking about like the Steam version here again, that's like almost $45 that you're spending before tax. That's almost $45. Ugh. And it's just it's ridiculous. And they're not even characters or anything like that. It's literally just cosmetics.
Oh dear. Seriously, okay. This is something I need to say to all the fighting game companies. If you want to make money, sure, cosmetics are a good way to make some extra cash off of us players, because if you just give us all the mechanics and stuff, like all this stuff to be able to play the game at a reasonable price, and then you just make us pay if we want like make your characters look pretty, like that's fine. But this is just going overboard.
Yeah, this is ridiculous, and might I add as well that this game came out 5 months ago. It came out 5 months ago, and it was literally announced a year ago. Yeah, it was literally announced a year ago, almost to the day. A year ago, it was announced. And then it released at the start of February, and it's just like, what the hell? What happened
if
to this
Bandai
game?
expects to make any money off of this game going forward, they need to put in a huge overhaul. Maybe just scrap the whole game altogether and make a whole new game based off of based on the same concept, but just done right.
Yeah, and I mean even that is going to be tough, because already I'm pretty sure that this game has driven away a lot of the JJK faithful.
Oh yeah,
they were expecting something that was going to be, anime accurate, manga accurate, that was going to literally knock all other titles out of the water. And keep in mind,
this game has single-handedly basically sunk a bunch of Bandai's trust from its players.
Yeah, and sure, they didn't develop the game, that was by King and Gem Drops, but they were the ones that published it. And this is the same company This is the same company that did Ace Combat, the Tales games, Soul Calibur, and of course Tekken. So it's like I don't know how bad things got where they were allowed, where they were permitted to release the game in the state it was in.
Yeah, the fact that this got greenlit at all is just incredible. Especially when you got these developers who we barely know. like honestly, like I was expecting Arc System Works to give a shot at this and give us like a 2D fighter or something.
Right?
Because they would have done that justice. Like look at Dragon Ball fighting. Like look at Dragon Ball Fighters.
Exactly.
They did amazing at that game, and Bandai has made a whole bunch of money off of that game.
That's a perfect example. That is such a perfect example.
I mean, I can understand why they made like why they wanted to go with 3D fighter for Jiu-Jitsu, because I mean like it is like a very strategic game about like positioning and all.
Yeah.
But still, I feel like they could have done better with their dev selection, because this game, like I'm sorry to say this, but it needs to be said. This game to me is getting down into the depths of like Sonic 06 levels of unfinished.
Oh my goodness, yeah, and we all know how well that went over. So yeah, it's terrible, man, and it's worth mentioning. Even the netcode is absolute crap.
I know
it is so crap. I don't know how anyone has managed to actually, win an online game, let alone play one.
Yeah,
that's how bad
the
netcode was.
Yeah, this is just a huge clusterfluff.
Yeah, so that's to pretty much tie in with the summer showcase.
Although to be fair, there was at least one really good segment, and that was the Gundam Breakers 4 showcase.
That's right. I feel like that and the Bleach announcement, I feel like those essentially saved the showcase.
Yeah, they did. And like to their credit, the Gundam Breakers 4 showcase, it was actually so hyped for me that I actually went ahead and pre-ordered it.
There you go, man. And like I don't know the first thing about Gundam, and even I was impressed by this. Like, this is incredible.
Like I told you before the recording, bro. Like if you want to just get like a sense of like the whole Gunpla mentality, just watch Gundam Build Fighters.
Yeah, like this game looks so good, and even like when they just did like the announcement trailer and stuff like that a while back, like it looked fantastic.
It does, but I will say you probably want to get it for PS5, because I don't think the Nintendo Switch hardware is going to do it any justice.
Oh yeah, probably not. We've seen what happens when you bring really big games like that onto a platform like the Switch. Looking at you, NetherRealm, greenlighting the Switch version of MK1. But yeah, there was that. And speaking of trailers and stuff like that, Access Games dropped a release date trailer for a little game called Blazing Strike.
Right, and I have actually heard of this game before. I saw it in like offhand in a top 10 fighting games when I was doing a bunch of research on YouTube one time, but I never actually gave it a second thought. But looking back at this is actually a really good, faithful rendition of like everything we loved about classic 80s fighting games.
Exactly, like this game, from what I saw in the release date trailer, it is literally as advertised and then some. Like it draws
this game
all its
inspiration. Like Street Fighter meets KOF energy right now.
There you go. I was just about to say it draws inspiration from all the classic arcade fighting games from the 80s and 90s. So, you think Street Fighter, you think King of Fighters, you think Fatal Fury, all of those. You can expect elements, or at least, the style of it, to be in this game. And it's going to be releasing later on this year, October 17th. It's coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, the Nintendo Switch, and it's going to be on Steam as well. Unfortunately, we don't really know too much about the Steam version. The page for it is not up yet officially, so can't tell if it's going to be on Mac, if it's going to be a Windows exclusive, or if it's going to be on both. But fingers crossed that it will be on both.
I mean, like at this point, I don't really care that much, because I have both Switch and PS5, so I'm pretty much good. Actually, that brings me to the question, Wolf. Which platform are you going to get it on?
That's a good question. I myself also have a Switch and a PlayStation, both the 4 and the 5. So, you know what? I would say I would probably go first for PlayStation, especially if there's like a cross-gen bundle, then like that's perfect. But even if I do get it on PlayStation, I figure might get it on Switch as well.
Yeah, I feel like Switch
Yeah.
might be a good spot for this because like it is basically like old timey pixel graphics. So
Oh yeah.
I mean, like the Switch would actually do this game justice in terms of graphics.
Oh, for sure. I mean, look back at how well the 30th anniversary collection for Street Fighter did.
Not to mention the upcoming Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. Like that is going to be
Yes.
really good on Switch.
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait for that to come out. But yeah, Blazing Strike is going to be coming out in the middle of October. So once pre-orders go live, definitely go ahead, pre-order it, and yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be
Yeah,
amazing. I can't wait to get this
and
game.
yeah, same here. I guess, and also just be clear, guys. Like this is kind of partly a news segment thing and partly our indie spotlight for this week. So
A little bit.
two for one, basically. It makes our job easier and it gives you guys just more to look forward to. But yeah,
There you go.
this game does look freaking amazing, and I definitely recommend you guys at least take a look at it. And we'll be eagerly waiting to see when it comes out, and we'll see what the reviews look like when it does drop. I'm really hoping that we get a really cool new like modern classic to look forward to.
Yeah, like this, it has all the makings to pretty much be something that could be not just like a cult classic, but like also be right up there with the big titles. Like
Totally,
this
like
is
looking at
how
this game.
amazing this game is.
I know, like looking at this game, honestly, like it makes me really wish that I had like that we had have like a like an old classic arcades just to go to play fighting games.
Yeah.
Like that's what this game makes you want to do is to like go out, find an arcade, and start like facing people IRL in fighting games. Like honestly, like we need to bring old time arcades back because I have this need now. Like especially since I've been recently rewatching High Score Girl on Netflix. Oh my god, I am just craving the old '80s nostalgia of like just going to just like a hole in the wall arcade and just playing fighting games.
It's hard to deny it, man. It's hard to deny. So, you know what? I certainly do not blame you for wanting that. And you know what? Like honestly, I could just watch that trailer on repeat and I would not have any issues with it. That is how much I'm
Same.
looking forward to this game.
Yeah, this
Absolutely
is going to be
incredible.
awesome when it comes out. I can just tell it's going to be a cult indie classic. Like it's going to be right up there with Arcus Chroma,
Oh yeah.
um, and all the others that we've mentioned in the past.
I could totally see that. I could definitely see that. And you know what? If you think about it, like we'll see what happens. A few weeks to a few months post launch. See what the numbers look like, and you know what? I can tell you this: a lot of people are going to love this game. I can
Yeah,
tell you that
if
right
nothing
now.
else, this is definitely going to be a sleeper hit.
For sure. And speaking of stuff to enjoy, uh, we also ended up learning. We're a little slow on this one, but we did learn that Guilty Gear Strive is receiving an anime spin off. How incredible is that, man?
Holy cow!
How incredible is that? Dual Riders is the name of the anime. Um, and just oh my gosh, if I wasn't already motivated enough to get into Guilty Gear, this has solidified that even more.
I mean, like, has Guilty Gear had an anime in the past? Like, or is this its first outing in the anime scene?
Honestly, I don't even know. I don't even know. I'm sure some of our listeners would be able to clarify that for us.
We're
But
definitely going to do some research. Actually,
yeah,
you know what we should do, Wolf? Now that like just this thought just came to me. You know what we should do is one at some point during an episode when we don't have much going on in terms of tournaments and whatnot and news, we should definitely do a retrospective of like fighting games in like movies and anime
yeah, that's a great idea, man.
because there is so much we can work with. Like I just started watching. Like I just discovered that apparently Street Fighter 2 got a proper anime adaptation and there's an English dub for it. So
That's right.
I'm happy. So I've been watching that, and I'm like 8 episodes in so far, and it's honestly pretty good. Like it basically covers like Ryu and Ken's like teen years, and it's actually awesome. Like oh my god, like I'm learning so much about these characters, like especially how stacked Ken's parents are. I mean, like the drive from their front gate to their front door, 20 minutes, and that's just their front yard.
Oh my god.
Like,
Well,
dude is Richard the God.
I mean, that's what happens when your dad is the CEO of the Masters Corporation, so
Apparently,
it makes
but yeah,
makes
like
perfect sense.
we definitely need to go, like we definitely need to do like a bunch of, actually, you know what? Well, like once the YouTube channel comes back, we should do a spin-off channel where we just react to fighting game media.
Oh, definitely. And I'll tell you this as well, the anime for Street Fighter 2 light years better than the live action movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I've actually never seen that, so I'd say we should probably react to that just for the shits and giggles.
Oh, don't worry, we will. I mean, I like the casting for Cammy, where they had Kylie Minogue, and also the way that they cast Bison. Like that was pretty well done. Having Van Damme as Guile, like that was okay, but like for the most part, it was like the cheesiest video game adaptation that you could ever think of. Like I feel like this was way cheesier than the original Mortal Kombat. I feel like it was way cheesier than that. And a
Wow.
lot of people will tell you that too. Like there are tons of memes that originated from the live action Street Fighter movie. That's how infamous it
Oof.
is. So yeah, well we could definitely rewatch that just for the hell of it, cuz why not? Um and yeah, pretty much just go from there.
Yeah. So look forward to that now, guys. We've kind of looked at this and we're thinking, yeah, maybe we'll do this.
Yeah. And also one more thing, connected to Guilty Gear Strive, just want to give a huge shout out to Guilty Gear Strive, to the devs, to everyone who worked on it, and everyone who played it, because it has not only crossed $3 million in sales, but it has also crossed, sorry, $3 million in sales, and it has also crossed 3 million players. So, given that
That's
this
an
game has
odd
been
coincidence.
yeah, it is a bit odd, but you know what? A milestone is a milestone considering how long this game has been out for, which is a pretty damn long time.
Honestly, I think that's gonna make this game like the 3 million fighter.
You know what? Yeah, probably.
If people don't start like using that as the nickname for Guilty Gear Strive, I'm gonna be very disappointed.
Honestly, I would be too, because it's really catchy. It's funny, but it's
The
catchy.
3 mil fighter.
Like honestly, it's freaking perfect. Start like honestly, you can make a whole bunch of merch just for that.
Oh, totally. I mean,
You can
like they
make a
made
whole bunch of
like people have
merch.
made merch off of less memes. I remember at I forget whether it was CEO just recently or whether it was a different tournament recently, but I do remember an announcer having a shirt that said "and good ass Tekken."
Yes.
So I
That's
think if they can make a shirt
right.
off of that, they can definitely make a shirt off of the 3 mil fighter.
Oh, definitely. That'd be friggin' awesome. If they're listening right now, if they are listening, please, for the love of all that is good, attempt
As
to make
money on
this
the
a
table,
reality.
take it.
Please. We will gladly take it. I don't care how much it's gonna cost, I will give you my entire wallet for that merch. I will give it all away. I don't care. But you know, like that's how passionate we are as fans. You know,
Yeah,
so and
yeah. Honestly,
that's
like I'm like just to give you an idea of how passionate I am about Tekken now, and keep in mind that I knew nothing about Tekken aside from like what I played with Wolf at his house for Tekken 7 like a year ago. I knew so little about Tekken like months ago, and now I am actually considering buying a Reina jacket.
There you go. See
They are
that
actually going on Amazon for like $170.
that's not bad actually. That's not bad. But you see that,
Mm-hmm.
ladies and gentlemen, that is evolution. That is evolution right there. And you know what? He's not going to be the only one going through that transition. Eventually Pharaoh will, and so will I. Depending on the series, obviously.
What
Um,
evolution? Like you have basically been the one who has introduced me to a lot of these series.
well, true, but at the same time, there are also, franchises out there that pique my interest, but I know nothing about. So
Such as, I mean, like the only one I know that I turned you on to was Fantasy Strike. So aside from
that
that,
that's true.
what games do you?
Aside from that, probably some of the older stuff, Final Fight, Fatal Fury, um, probably probably Virtua Fighter as well because I barely played I
I mean
barely
those
played
games.
any of
It's
that.
not really much for lack of trying or looking for them. It's just the fact that they don't have those on modern consoles as much.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's definitely a good point. Thankfully though for the Neo Geo versions, thank God that those are actually, available for purchase digitally anyways.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah. Actually, speaking of which, I actually got and I will say right now, you know, remember how I said that that there were actually two different series. There was the Capcom versus SNK, and then there was SNK versus Capcom. I can
yes.
now confirm that SNK versus Capcom is a thing because there is a Neo Geo of it that I actually bought for my Switch recently.
No way. You actually got it?
Yep, ten bucks on the eShop.
Nice. That's amazing.
I will say right now that the Felicia is my girl. The Felicia is definitely my girl in this game.
That's awesome. And you know what? That's a very interesting thing too that not a lot of people talk about is the differences when it comes to the titles. Because normally you would think that those games are essentially the same thing and that it's just the names are swapped and stuff like that.
But they're not.
It's actually not the case.
Yeah, basically like whoever's name comes first in the title, that's who made it. So basically what happened in the '90s is that Capcom and SNK they made a deal where they would give each other's fighters, and they could each try and make their own game out of it. Obviously, Capcom kind of went out against that because they actually got a sequel for their game.
Well, yeah.
But I will say that while the console version of and the arcade version of SNK versus Capcom didn't really do well, I will say that the Neo Geo Fighter is actually pretty fun. So Wolf, I am definitely going to get you to face me in that sometime.
That's
I will say
awesome.
though, right
Yeah.
at the bat, no Zangief. Zangief is absolutely broken in this game. He's
Yep,
banned.
that's fair. That's fair. And as a follow up to the point that you made there, sometimes the names also signify what engine the game is running on, and a good example of that would be the crossover that we got for Street Fighter and Tekken. So the first game that came out, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, that one was using the same engine that Capcom used to run Street Fighter 4. So everything from the locations to the way the characters look, they were all done in the style of Street Fighter 4. And apparently, the follow up to that, which unfortunately got canned, Tekken Cross Street Fighter, was supposed to use the same engine that Bandai used for, I think it was supposed to be Tekken 7.
Oh
So,
man, that kind of sucks because like
yeah.
one, like for the Street Fighter Cross Tekken, like if they're doing that in like Street Fighter 4 graphics, like I will admit I've seen Street Fighter 4 gameplay and I'm honestly not a huge fan of the art style in that game.
I mean, it was okay at first, but it's like the more you look at it, the
It's so
less.
ugly. It's just so
Yeah,
ugly.
it's not the best. Like it was fine when it first came out.
I mean, sure,
Um.
like mechanically it works just fine.
Oh
It's
yeah,
actually one of the most beloved Street Fighters ever.
of
But the art
course.
style alone is enough to just repel me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, and then like you have Tekken 7 engine. They could have gone Tekken V X Street Fighter, and you know that game beloved in the Tekken scene. So and
Dude,
I mean
and
like I mean like we got Akuma in Tekken 7. So
right?
like why wouldn't you
Yeah.
do a full on Tekken V Street Fighter Tekken 7 engine game.
I know, and the saddest part about the fact that this was canceled was that it had a piece of promo art that just kicked so much ass because
Wait, really?
it was Evil Ryu standing across from Devil Jin. That's what that promo piece was.
Okay, hang on. I'm just looking at Google right now.
Oh my god, it goes
Google.
so fucking hard you don't even know.
Tekken X Street Fighter.
Oh man.
Promotional art.
It had no right going that hard.
Let's see.
But it did. It was freaking fabulous.
I cannot. Oh god, I think it's been erased from history because I cannot find it in Google Images.
Yeah, it's possible that it's been erased.
No,
unfortunately,
I want to see it so bad. It's so cool.
Yeah, and it's. Yeah, I just wish that it was still there because it's like the two of them are standing across from each other and like their auras and stuff like that are also going at the same time.
No.
So, yeah, so it's like you've got Evil Ryo with the Satsui no Hado and then you got Devil Jin with all the aura from the Devil Gene.
No.
And it's just, oh my god.
Okay, now I gotta know. Which company canned it? Was it Capcom or was it Bandai?
No, I think it was Bandai. I think it was
Bandai.
Why? I can't remember the reason why. But yeah,
I can understand this coming from Capcom, but Bandai, why?
I don't know. And as far as I know, I don't think there's any plans on resurrecting this project. So it's honestly,
Bandai, why?
This is the only thing that makes me more upset than us not getting a new Darkstalkers game. This is the only thing that makes me more upset. Is the fact that we did not get a follow-up.
I think for me, I'm still most upset at no new Darkstalkers because Darkstalkers needs some love.
It does. Like, we haven't gotten a new game for it since, like, what, 95? 94,
Something
95?
like that. Like, all we got these days is just, like, Morgan cameos, and that's it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, they had a good thing going when they put out Resurrection, which basically put together Darkstalkers 2 and 3 on the same disc. But it's like, it's just a 2-for-1 package deal. It wasn't, like... You know, it wasn't a completely new and original thing.
Resurrection, is it can you get on PS4 or PS5?
I'm pretty sure you could. I know
because I have searched for any sort of Darkstalker collection on the eShop for PlayStation. I have found nothing.
Yeah, they used to have it. It used to be part of PlayStation Now. It was actually part of PlayStation Plus before it moved to PlayStation Now, but then when they discontinued PlayStation Now, which I think was last year, I think they discontinued it, all, or at least most of the catalog, migrated over to PlayStation Plus into the Classics catalog, so it may be there, but as far as my understanding goes, yeah, it's either there or it's not, and chances are that it's actually not there anymore.
Well, local pawn shop, here I come.
Yep.
I will see if I can find this. I will scour because sure, we have the Capcom Fighting Collection. I have that for my Switch, but I will say right now that it's not it's good. It's good. It's just the 2-player capability is not perfected. I will say because like you and I tried playing Street Fighter 2 on that collection, and as soon as one of us got knocked out, it just the wear just kept going on and played against CPU.
Yeah, it was a little weird
in your usual arcade ladder.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, by no means was it perfect or anything, but I mean, if
you're playing single player, then it's like an awesome collection, and
yeah.
I especially loved getting introduced to Red Earth, but yeah, if you're trying to go for 2-player, it's not ideal.
Yeah, at least with Resurrection, at least with that, the 2-player was actually pretty functional. It was really good. Because I do remember you and I went a few rounds in that.
Yes, yes, we did, because you had on your PS4.
Yeah.
Okay, mission start for me. Find a physical copy of Resurrection.
Yes, that is your mission.
because I need me my cat girls.
Yes, exactly. Plus, we also don't know when she's going to show up again in a cameo, or as like a playable character in a crossover. Like, we don't know if that's ever going to happen again. So, yeah, definitely got to get your hands on it as soon as you can.
Indeed, I'm on a big binge to find like all these old PS4 titles, because like I just recently, I told you I just recently bought the standard edition of Soul Calibur 6. So
that's right.
I've got that. I'm working on getting the DLC, so that is kept in the archives for me for when Soul Calibur eventually loses its support.
Yeah. Well, I mean it ended its support for Soul Calibur 6 like a few years ago. So I mean, you can still get all the DLC and you'll be fine.
But I mean the series at large.
But like, yeah, the series itself, yeah, we're I don't see any signs of it coming back, unfortunately, which again is unfortunate because it was actually a really underrated series.
It was.
As much as people don't want to admit it, like, it was pretty freaking cool. And especially with like all the different guest characters that have been in it over the years.
like they had Link in there from Legend of Zelda.
Yep,
Link was there.
And they had Heihachi Mishima from Tekken as well. They had Spawn in there, but we don't talk about Spawn. Primarily because they couldn't find a way to make his cape actually work. So I'm pretty sure they just cut it out altogether, which sucks. Soul Calibur 4 had, in one version, I think it was the Xbox version, it had Yoda in there. And
then PlayStation got Darth Vader.
Yeah, and the PlayStation version had Vader.
I remember that.
That was
and then, of course,
cool.
In Soul Calibur 6, we got the Witcher himself.
Yes, Geralt. Yes. We had Geralt in there, which, you know what, to be fair...
Only makes sense, because he's known for the two swords on his back, so why not?
Yeah. Like, he fits perfectly into that, and you know what? He was probably one of the best guest picks that, you know, had ever been chosen for the franchise.
By far. Like, I mean, like, if this really is going to be the last game for the series, what a guest character to go out on.
Absolutely. And then, like, even the guest characters when the DLC came out. Like, even that as well. Like, we ended up getting Tubi, for crying out loud.
I know.
How awesome is that?
She started making the rounds in fighting games. Like, I mean, we have her in Soul Calibur 6, and now we got her in Grand Blue Fantasy.
There you go. And honestly, the Nier games, so underrated. They need more love, for crying out loud. And it's a Square Enix title.
Honestly, like, at this point,
it's a Square Enix title too.
Yeah, I know. Like, if Tui's gonna be at this point, if she's gonna be like guest character in a lot of fighting games, like, give her her own fighting game. Like, give the Nier franchise its own fighting game.
Right? Who would not want to buy that?
That would do gangbusters. It would sell like hotcakes. I'm sure of it.
It absolutely would, for sure. Like, oh man. But yeah, that's us blabbering on about that.
Yes. Anyway, discussion talk time.
Yes, so we do still have some time for that. So the discussion topic that we came up with, this one I actually came up with while I was playing Street Fighter 6, as a matter of fact, is dedicated training modes for supers and finishers. So
yes.
I want to get your initial thoughts on that.
Good, because I have opinions. I have opinions on this. I recently, like, as you know, I'm still like a pretty big newcomer to fighting games in general, and not too long ago I did try the Street Fighter training mode, and for basic moves and stuff, it's good. It's definitely very good as far as a fighting game. For most fighting games that I've seen that try to do tutorials, Street Fighter 6 definitely has one of the best in terms of like just basic stuff. But when you get to super territory and specials, especially when you're talking about classic controls, it kind of falls flat. I mean, I can't even do Luke's level 1 super or input on classic. because the game just like does not expect you to like it just expects you to like just know it instinctively. Like two quarter circles in a row. Like what does that look like to anyone? Like I have no clue how that's gonna look, how that's supposed to look
Right.
on my finger on the joystick, and I can never do it. So that's why that's why with Street Fighter I am strictly gonna be on modern unless I know I can go in a tournament and just win on fundamentals alone.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, like, with the training mode for Street Fighter 6, like, it is really good. Just the practice section in general, because you've got your character guides, you've got combo
Oh, the
trials.
character guides is a godsend,
Oh
like absolute
man.
godsend. Especially the fact that you can actually like switch between like how you see the inputs for everything.
Yes, that's
That's great.
right.
That's great.
I remember how relieved you were when I told you that there was the option to do that.
Yes, and that helped me figure out that apparently in the modern control scheme, neutral was actually a or no, not neutral, but the R2, what like whatever it's designated as in the modern control scheme, that actually did something, and it was actually
Yes.
good for getting some of Ed's moves off, which I have now somewhat mastered. And I will say right now that Ed is definitely gonna be one of my mains. Him and Kimberly definitely my two mains for Street Fighter Six.
Yes, you wiped the floor with my ass as Kimberly. That's for sure.
Yes, and then you brought the Crimson Cyclone.
Yes, then I brought out Zangief, and yeah, I wiped the floor with you that time.
Man, Like I tried doing so many drive rushes, and they just got countered with grabs.
Yup.
I oh
That
poor Ed. My Ed must have a concussion at this point because like he got suplexed so many times that in those matches.
suplexed and pile driven into the ground numerous times.
Oh, it was a
Yeah,
slaughter.
yeah. So like I think it's a really great idea to have dedicated training modes for
It's
supers
just the
and for
execution
finishers.
that needs to be spot on. Like Street Fighter Six, I can't like again for the specials and the supers, I can't really give them too much props because I didn't really learn how to do it. Like they basically just told me, you're supposed to do this, but they didn't tell me like what it actually looks like. Like for
Yeah.
me, I feel like the best way they could have done this is if they had like a holographic finger on a joystick actually doing the motion so I could see what the motion actually looked like for the input. Because just showing me just like the basic command code, that's not enough for me.
Yeah, I agree. And really, like those don't work unless you actually know what the codes are. Like
Yeah.
unless you know the terminology. Um, yeah, you'd be better off with having like a visual demonstration, like even if it's just like in the bottom left hand corner. And you know what game actually does that? Mortal Kombat
Game.
1. MK1 actually does that.
Let's
When
go Nether
you
Realms. Good on you
yes.
guys.
Yeah, when you go through the tutorials and the stuff like that, like especially when you get into the harder stuff, like learning how to string together combos, there is an option to view the demo of it, and you'll actually see the controller, a holographic controller in the bottom left hand part of the screen, and you'll actually see the buttons and stuff like that all light up as the combos are going
Oh,
along.
that is awesome. I didn't realize that when I first started playing and getting used to the characters. Okay, I'm good. I'm definitely gonna try that out now because there are definitely some inputs that I want to pull off with. Oh my gosh! I'm so sorry, MK1 fans. I keep forgetting the Dragon Boy's name. Oh
Liu
God,
Kang. It's Liu Kang.
Liu Kang. Thank you, Wolf. Oh God, I am so sorry, Decade MK fans. I am so sorry that I can't seem to ever remember Liu Kang's name.
Don't worry, I'll
Oh,
defend you from all the tryhards. Don't worry.
thank you, because like I know I'm gonna get roasted because like my whole gist as Shimaro is like just Ninja Fox and like flaming Ninja Fox
Yeah,
like with the whole Dragon motif. So I'm basically our version of Liu Kang.
essentially, yeah. But
Oh
yeah,
God,
at least with
but
MK1, they have like a dedicated holographic controller that actually shows you all the inputs and stuff like that when you view the demo. So It's a really great thing that they did that.
Indeed,
It's
and you know what? You know what other series or recent game really needs that kind of help with their training mode?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say Tekken 8.
You're damn right. I have looked at that, like just looking at like when I was loading Reina and trying to figure out like how to do her combos. Dear gods, they had different colored arrows.
Yeah,
Like, what is that supposed to mean?
it's really weird. I could go over some of it with you, but like that'll take at least an hour, which we do not have right now.
No, yeah, we'll
Um,
save that. We'll save that for our downtime. But yeah, like,
yeah,
oh god, Tekken is basically just a bunch of command lists, and that's not what player like. I mean, still good on all three of these games for making things more accessible to newcomers with the modern control schemes. But oh god, the input instructions need serious work still.
yeah, and I mean, especially when you get into like the really long combos as well, where things just get absolutely complex up the wazoo. Like even if you pull up the legend for all the icons, like yeah, they'll tell you what they represent, but
There's
it's
so much
like
you gotta memorize though.
yeah, there's a lot to memorize, and like it's not just the icons, but like all the moves as well, because like heck, you take Jin Kazama for instance in Tekken 8, his moveset consists of like 90 to 95 different moves, and that's including combos.
Ugh.
So it's like, and think about it, it's just like that for every other character in the game.
I know it's so like it was the same in Tekken 8. Like it's just so bad. It's so convoluted.
It's crazy. Like I don't even remember 95% of the stuff that I pull off anyways.
And that's
That's
not even getting
why.
into like the whole stance system where you get into different forms.
Oh,
Like
that
Reina has
too.
three of
Yeah.
those, and it never really even tells you like how to actually get into each stance. Like you basically just do a combo, you switch to a stance, you do another combo, you switch to another stance, and it basically just strings like that.
Yeah,
Like how are we
exactly.
supposed to learn that complexity?
Yeah, that's why for me, I just stick to the smaller combos. I just stick to the stuff that I actually know, the stuff that I've actually labbed. And you know, I just go from there cuz
Yeah, build
otherwise
build your
if
own combos. I think that's another thing that fighting games need in their practice modes is just help the player figure out their own combos that work for them. Because like when I was labbing Reina, I found that I could just do her forward down punch launcher, and as long as I space my inputs right, I could string like quite the long juggle with her.
yeah, exactly. And even for me in MK1 when I've been labbing with like smoke, like I found out that I can deal a decent amount of damage if I just go like with his if I just go with like his standing 2-1-2, like that's 4 hits but it deals decent damage. And you pair that up with like a cameo where you have a move that does multiple hits, you can chain those together. And it's perfect. A perfect example of that is when I'm using Serena. I use her back assist, which does 4 hits of damage, and I combo that into Smoke's standing 2-1-2, and like that's 8 hits and almost like 200 something damage. So it's
Dang. So
actually not
yeah,
even really that bad.
and this is what I'm saying to all the fighting game devs out there. Like it's good that you guys have practice modes like this.
Yeah,
You're definitely getting better. It's just actually teaching us the inputs needs some more streamlining. It definitely needs some more features. It definitely like either you need to do like holographic simulations with a preview of like how the thing's supposed to look, or you like try to go the other route where basically you just give the players a bunch of like basic moves and help them learn how to make their own combos.
yeah, exactly. And one thing that I will praise MK1 for is the fact that they also have an option to go through fatality tutorials. So
There you
there
go.
is that as well, and that's been a staple for the NetherRealm games since MK9, and it's gotten better and better as the years have gone by. So the fact that not only do they have the option to go through a normal tutorial where you can learn about all kinds of stuff about the game, everything from frame data to combo enders and stuff like that, pressuring as well, to actually being able to practice your finishers. Like, that's friggin' amazing, and I can't really think of too many games off the top of my head that actually have dedicated training modes for both supers and finishers.
Yeah,
So I
like
definitely feel like that's something that needs to be implemented a bit more. Absolutely.
yeah, like MK1 is definitely a flagship in terms of like just accessibility for newcomers. Out of like the big three.
Yeah, they definitely for all its discrepancies and all the negatives and all the backlash, there's plenty of stuff that they did right with it, and the tutorials is part of that.
Yeah, I'd say
Absolutely.
like if I had to make a tier list on how like accessible these top three games are, I would say MK1 is up top,
Oh yeah.
and especially since like their combos, like the inputs for like doing the special moves has definitely got more simplified, which I freaking love. Like it's basically just either back forward, forward back, or quarter circle, and that's about it. Maybe
Yeah.
you might get a half circle here or there, but that's only because it's like for a really super awesome move that is like broken. So it's good that they have that harder input to put in. I'm fine with that. So yeah, you have that. So yeah, MK1 is definitely top tier as far as accessibility right now. Street Fighter 6 definitely has like the better training thing for me above Tekken. So it basically goes in Tekken and then Tekken's in like a close third.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that. I would not change any of the positioning of those three. I feel like that is absolutely perfect.
Like the one thing
So
I
yeah.
also think that actually does keep Tekken at third place is also because like you know like the mode where you can face ghosts and the AI can basically just
Oh
flatten you,
yes.
like it basically just flatten you whenever you get too predictable.
Yeah.
That's behind a play wall of sorts where you actually have to finish a storyline to actually unlock it, which I think is just dumb.
Yeah, it's weird. Like the Super Ghost battles, like it's very intuitive, very creative. I love
And
that
it's a
they
great
added
way
it.
for new players to train and like get all those bad habits out of their system.
Exactly, but like you mentioned, the problem is that you have to unlock it by going through the arcade quest mode,
I know.
and
You've heard of paywalls. This is a play wall.
yes, and thankfully this play wall, so to speak, is a lot more forgiving because you only have to get past I think like the first two um, arcades in the quest. You only have to get past the first two in order to unlock it. That's it.
Okay, fair, but still, the fact that you have to get through a play wall at all.
That's a good point. Yes, I definitely feel like they could have done without that. I feel like it could have been its own separate thing. Um, but I do understand why they tied the two in together because Arcade Quest is pretty much a side story where your avatar journeys through different arcades while learning all the fundamentals and all the advanced stuff about how to play Tekken. So
I will admit that's a great way to practice. That's a great way to get new players on board and getting them learning all the complexities of Tekken. But still, I feel like if you just want to like forego like the whole storyline and you just want to get into like the nitty gritty of how to play like me, I'm
exactly.
all about in my fighting games. Like I hardly ever play like story content. Like I am all about getting in, allowing my characters, and then fighting someone.
Yeah. It exactly. There's no problem with that. But definitely I can see how having the Super Ghost battles locked behind the play wall of the arcade quest, I can definitely see how that has turned some players away from playing. Um, so yeah, but regardless of the fact, all three of these games and other games as well, they all implement training modes for supers and or finishers in their own ways. And you know what? I it's ultimately something that doesn't get talked about enough.
I know. And actually, like while we're on the subject, just before we switch to Dream rosters, because we're kind of low on time, I'm actually going to take Fantasy Strike, that indie which I love, and I think you'll agree with me. Well, this actually has a really good tutorial level that you have to go through before you can actually play anything.
It was really good, yeah. And the fact that, like, it's the first thing that you go into when you boot up the game for the very first time, um, I I think it was very, very well done. I mean, sure, it took me a few tries to get used to the controls, but once I did, it was smooth sailing, man.
It was very intuitive. So I'm gonna put that like I mean it's not perfect, like it's not MK1 levels, but I'd say it's definitely tied with Street Fighter for number two.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah, very, very, definitely intuitive, very well done, extremely creative as well.
And,
You
I'm, and, that,
know,
and that's just the tutorial. Like they also have the whole slew of character guides that they actually have guys going over videos explain to you how the characters play.
there you go. Like it doesn't get much better than that. So definitely like a huge win for Fantasy Strike, and of course, with that being kind of in the same vein as Street Fighter 6 with the character guides and all that, it's a big plus, absolutely. So it would be nice um for more games to be able to introduce dedicated training modes for your supers and your finishers, because those are very important aspects when it comes to combat. So you want to be able to pull those off, you want to be able to learn about them. um so if you have a dedicated training mode for those, it just makes it so much easier, simply put.
Yeah, and I'm still all for like the training modes where like you have like a whole little little story to go through, like the arcades thing in Tekken, or the dedicated like go to the streets mode for Street Fighter 6. Like that's good if you want to like teach people while keeping them entertained, but I think there should also be just like straight up, here's how you do this, and then like it's just easier to do.
Agreed, absolutely. So with that, let's move into our dream rosters real quick here. Mine is I was mentioning to you before we started recording that my choice made it sound like I was running out of ideas, and I'm sure that's what it sounded like to a lot of you listening. But my dream roster is all about the types of trees that exist in the world. So,
Honestly, I'm gonna say low key goaded because trees are awesome things, and there's such a huge variety of them. I mean, like your roster of this game would be absolutely ginormous.
oh, it would absolutely be gigantic. Like there's like at the very least 50 different kinds of trees out there. Spruce trees, cedar, maple, oak, you name it. They will probably all be in there. As far as like what kind of fighting game it would be, for shits and giggles, it could be a platformer. Um,
Like I'm thinking arena fighter for this one,
oh
like
yeah,
especially
maybe,
like
yeah.
actually, oh my gosh, big idea here, big brain idea. Um, if you made this game like trees, but they were all represented by like ants, you could have a Lord of the Rings crossover.
Oh, that's so true.
Get tree bearded on this.
That is so true. Yeah.
And I know you're not, and I know Wolf that you're not gonna get this reference because you are a blasphemer who has not watched Lord of the Rings.
Yes, that's true.
That that will be corrected soon. Trust me. I'm gonna sit you down. And we're gonna marathon that together.
Yes, that is going to change very, very soon.
But yes, for those of you who do
Yeah.
know, Treebeard, awesome dude. He was instrumental in the end of the movie too. Yeah, bring him in because he would be absolutely awesome for a crossover with, like if you want to do a crossover DLC with this game.
That would be pretty incredible. Yeah. And I mean at the same time, like trees do a whole lot of things for us. Everything from providing us shade from the sun to purifying the air with oxygen.
And
So
and fruit and all that, and nuts and all
yes,
that good
fruit as
food.
well. Yes, so I can actually see this playing a few different ways. Like, I could see it maybe as with, like, protection from the sun. It could be, like, kind of like your combo breaker, maybe? It could kind of be like a combo breaker.
Could be. Also, you also cannot neglect the aesthetic appeal of some trees. I mean,
Yes, that's
willow
true.
trees, cherry blossoms. Oh,
Oh,
my god,
God,
that
yes.
like there's gonna have to be like a whole cherry blossom thing for that tree type.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. No doubt there. As far as, like, fruit growing on it or, like, flowers blooming, that could be, like, maybe a way to replenish, like, your super gauges or stuff like
Dude, like
that.
like palm trees with coconuts. That's gonna be wild.
Oh, oh, you're right. That would be crazy. That'd be insane. And then there could also be like there could be an oxygen ability as well that
Oh, that.
there
Oh,
could be that as well.
that would be cool.
That could also kind of like heal you a little bit. Like it could kind of act as like it could kind of act like a mercy in Mortal Kombat. Where it brings you back a little bit so that you have a second chance to fight. So
A second wind, as it were.
yes, and forgive me for not making that reference sooner. You beat me to the punch on that one. So absolutely,
Hey,
yes.
I'm the guy with the creative right major.
A
This is what I
literal
do.
second wind. Yes. So simply put, yeah, that's what mine would be. It would be all about trees. Arena brawler, as you mentioned, would be perfect. And just yeah, putting all of the benefits of trees to use as like these different game mechanics and stuff like that. Yep, that sounds like the kind of game that I would play.
Nice. Anyway, I'm sure you're wondering what my dream roster for this week would be.
As a matter of fact, I am, even more so because you hadn't thought up of one until just before we started recording.
Yes, and like take this as inspiration for you to get back into series that need fighting games that don't already have them, because that's kind of
Yes.
what the Dream Rosters originally were supposed to be for. But again, I'm not dissing in your creative ideas. Those have been awesome so far.
Of course, of course. Thank
But
you.
but if you want to get back into some more series that definitely need some fighting game love, I am going to put forward Spy Family.
Yes! Oh my god!
Because that game is freaking awesome. I mean, Street Fighter had that crossover with Spy Family that I unfortunately missed because I was not a PS5 owner at that time. But it was still really awesome to see you're facing Chun Li, and I think this is proof that a fighting game could work for this game or for this anime, because we've already got a decent cast already in the anime. Like, I mean, we're into season 2 now, and I have not watched through season 2, so that's kind of on me. But I know that we do have enough characters to fit a decent small sized roster at the very least, if not more.
Oh,
I mean, like you've got Twilight. Like, he would be like, honestly, like, I think Twilight, like, no joke, would actually be the mimic character. Like he would be the Shang-Chi of this game.
Oh my god. Wait, hang on. Don't you mean Shang Tsung?
Oh, Shanks! Oh God! Again, MK fans, I apologize. I apologize.
all good, all good.
The ancient Chinese names always trip me up for some reason.
All
yeah,
good.
but yeah, Twilight would be that like he would be the main character of the game, but he would be the character who actually steals move sets.
That is freaking awesome. That's awesome.
Because that totally is his thing in the show. Is like he's all about disguises and everything.
Yep.
And sure, like he would have his own thing where he's like a pistol, or he can analyze his opponents. But yeah, move stealing for our main character, that would be a very novel idea right there.
Oh, absolutely. And then of course our beloved Thorn Princess.
Yes, you're be my rushdown queen in this, obviously, because her fighting style is basically like sewing needles and whatnot.
And she's essentially an assassin, so
yeah. So definitely she would be the archetypal rushdown ninja of the game.
There you go. But then the real wild card in all this would be Anya.
Oh, I have ideas about Anya. I think for one, you can't do her separately. You have to pair her up with Bond. Where she's riding it.
That's the only thing that's the only requirement, because it makes perfect sense.
Yes, and then because she's got the telepathy, and then has the clairvoyance. I definitely think they should play like Shulk from Smash Bros.
Oh, definitely. I could so see that
Like
working.
having a future sight counter, that would be really cool. I think especially if you make this into a 2D fighter, it would be really cool.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? Anya would be such a challenge to fight because her hitbox is so small. It's so small compared to other characters. And you know what? In addition, you throw Damien Desmond in there as well. It would be the same issue for him.
Oh,
So
and he would be his own character. I think you all recall like his training arc when he was trying to get ready for like the dodgeball tournament, right?
yeah, oh my god, that was awesome.
Put him and his two lackeys in there as like a group fighter, and you have a really good like anti-villain of sorts. But yeah, Anya would be really good as like a Shulk stand-in. Plus, obviously for a final like special move, you would definitely have to have her doing the God Punch, and
yes.
you know which punch I'm talking about.
Oh yes, absolutely. There is no way we're gonna leave that one out. No way.
Yes.
That
And
would
then
be that's perfect.
I'm sure all you at home are probably wondering like, okay, that's good, but those are kind of the main cast who are good at fighting. Who else can we do? Of course, we have Yuri, yours
Yes.
psychotic little brother. We have I forget her name already. Twilight's apprentice.
Yeah, whatever her name is. I can't remember.
White-haired girl. And
Yeah.
of course, I think we definitely need to put in. Oh gosh, this is how out of tune I am with Spy Family. I need to rewatch that because I am thinking of that one professor who has like the majestic mustache and the monocle
Oh,
from my
him!
school.
Oh, what is his name?
Dude, yeah,
name?
him. Oh my
Damn
gosh,
it.
yeah. Put him in. He would be like the quintessential like tall, big body character.
Oh, I could definitely see that. I could totally see that. Oh man, there's a lot of potential to be had there, and you know what? It works perfectly too because Spy Family has already branched out into other forms of media. Like there's already been a movie about this series.
I know.
There's already been a
It's
movie,
absolutely
so
crazy. Like this shonen has popped off so much in the last couple of years, and I think a fighting game is just a really good idea. Like Arc System Works, I'm counting on you guys. Make this a reality.
yes, absolutely. And also, please, please, please make sure that Anya gets her peanuts. Please.
Yes.
Please let her
Yes.
have her peanuts.
Honestly, they should make that a mechanic. Have Anya have a peanut meter.
Yes! Oh my god, that's perfect! Oh my god.
Let her eat. Let her eat.
Yes, let there be peanuts. That is
Yeah.
awesome. Oh
Yeah, but
gosh.
yeah, that's my dream roster for this week. Spy Family, seriously, Arc, make it happen, please. I need this game now.
Yes. We freaking need this.
We do.
I don't care how much you would put it for. If you put it at like a AAA price, I would absolutely buy it. I don't care.
Same. Bandai has done a great job with Spy Anya so far, and
Yep.
that's just proof that they can do it.
Oh, absolutely. It's just, you know, whether or not they decide to greenlight the idea, but you know what? Like I said, there's a lot of potential, so definitely
Dude, I will
don't
seriously go on to Bandai's Twitter and all their socials and just spam bring in Spy Family as a fighting game.
Yeah.
I will legit do that at some point in the coming weeks if I have to, because this game idea
It
gold.
works. It works so well.
But anyway,
with that said,
I think we're kind of running overtime now.
Just about actually.
Oh my gosh! We said this was gonna be a short episode, and this game.
This was
turned into a
definitely
long
not
one.
short.
Oh man.
No worries, but,
yes.
thank you to everyone who tuned in and listened. Again, appreciate your support as always. And again, can't stress it enough. And yes, by now, you guys know I'm going to say it at the end of every episode. Tell everybody you know about us. The more listeners we get, the better. And, it's just extra motivation for us. So there's that. And
Indeed. You guys are the ones who build our super meter.
exactly. That's a good way to put it. So, from all of us at Canine Calamity, we thank you very much for listening to this episode. We'll catch you all in the next one. But for now, this is Wolfpack signing off.
This is Shamaro leaving the dojo.
And stay safe, stay cool, and most importantly, fight on.
Fight on.
We'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.